Yeah. This ain't about gossip. This ain't about noise. This is about ownership. Clarity, strategy, power. Mind your business. Level up, no.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to today's episode of Gurll Mind Your Business. This podcast is where we don't just talk about success, we build it, we own it, and we refuse to shrink for anybody. I'm your host, Cade, and if this is your first time, baby, you're in the right place. You picked the best time to show up because today we are kicking off something I've been so excited to bring to you and this community. We're launching off a 3-part series, and just the name alone should tell you everything you need to know. Positioning matters. Now, say that with me. Positioning matters because it does not matter how hard you work. If anybody knows who you are, what you do, and why you do it, you are the only one who can do it the way you do it. How about that? You're the only one. Now, I don't just bring anybody to the mic. You know that. You know I don't. So when I tell you the guest today is somebody who has spent over 30 years in the highest level of corporate America, SVP level, and walked away. She walked away to help women just like you build authority and be visible, portable, and powerful. And I really don't need to say much more. I just need you to lean in and listen closely because she is the founder of Women's Level Up Network and she is an executive authority strategist. And let me just bring her to the stage, none other than Mary H. Davis. Let me bring her to the stage. Oh, so you can be so excited about what we have coming up. And of course, we are having a few technical difficulties, and I cannot bring Mary up right now, but just hold on a minute and let me find her. Mary, are you there? Let me bring her up. Here she is.
Hi.
Hello, Mary. Hello, hello, hello. We are so excited to have you here again. And I just can't get enough of what you have going on. Just, we just can't be so excited, too excited to have you whenever you're here. So, we're going to talk today about the best kept secret. Now, Mary, I'm just going to let you say a little bit about who you are. And I don't care how many times I bring you to the stage, I'm excited because I know you have a wealth of information for us. So let me stop and let you talk.
Well, thank you for having me back. It's always good to be back, especially talking about the subject that's near and dear to my heart. Just a brief introduction. I am Mary H. Davis, the executive authority strategist. And I help women and a few good men help them own their position and own their authority. That's pretty much it in a nutshell, so that they can get paid the way that they want to and be recognized and get the visibility and the credibility that they deserve, that they've owned, that they've earned.
Okay. All right. Well, we just going to jump in right here. Let's just start. You spent nearly 3 decades as SVP, Senior Vice President. I just love those acronyms. And inside the largest financial institution, and that's so rare for us in this country. What happened when you stepped outside of those walls?
So the best kept secret, one of the things that I realized and I've learned to lean into, and what I'm teaching others to lean into, is that I was the best kept secret, and it's my fault.
Mhm.
It's not their fault, not the institutions, but it's my fault. What I realized is that while I was excellent in what I did, while I was there for those 3 decades, that's a long time, but nobody knew who I was and where I was. They didn't know all of the great things about me. And it's not because I wasn't good, because I was damn good.
Mhm.
But it was because I wasn't findable. At my level, and I was just talking to a client about this today. And he's a guy, and I was just telling him, you are the best kept secret. And I could say that about him because I know him. I know the work that he did. And because I said about myself, and we all need to be saying that about ourselves, whether you're an SVP, a VP, AVP, or just whatever you're doing, that thing that you're good at, it is our job to make it findable. And what I realized is when I walked away with all of my credentials and all of the stuff, it didn't mean anything because I wasn't findable.
Right.
That place that I worked in for 3 decades, I used that to hone my expertise, and I left it with them because I didn't make it portable.
Hmm.
So that's in this series that we're going to go through. We're going to talk about how do you make that portable and what does that look like? How do you make your expertise findable outside of the company or organization that you work with?
Wow. So wait a minute. What you're saying is the institution was actually doing the positioning work for you the whole time.
Exactly. Exactly.
Wow.
Within their organization, though, just for them. But
Wow.
here's the thing, it's my expertise, it's mine. It gets to
Right.
come with me.
Right.
And it came with me, but it just nobody could find it. For nearly 3 decades, the institution was my brand. I identified with that organization. When you look at like LinkedIn and most people's resume, they have their title. Well,
Right.
depending on what organization you go into, the title could be different. My title would say SVP. The regulator knew that name. They knew me in my level. The rooms knew me in that organization. They used to have a saying, it's the Mary H. Davis. I have
Yeah.
made a reputation just like that because, Mary Davis is a very
Mhm.
common name. But when they spoke about me, they would always say the Mary H.
Mhm.
Davis because that's the branding that I had established. But nobody knew me outside of that organization. The expertise was real. What I earned, it's a real thing. The track record that I accomplished, it working for one of the largest financial institutions in the world. That's a real thing. Helping them to solve problems. That's a real thing. What was missing was I didn't have an infrastructure
Mm.
framework. I know infrastructure, a big word for some people, but I didn't have a way of making that visible, a method, intentional. So when I say infrastructure, it's just an intentional routine or process that you go through so that you are seen in places that you're not in. So
Okay.
you don't have to be in the room. We all talk about being in the room, but there's no better room to be in having your name dropped in rooms that you're not even in, that you don't even know about, that's
Right.
talking about you. That's portable expertise.
Okay. So what changed? What did you do different?
Outside of having come Jesus talk with myself. As you know, Cookie, I talk to myself all the time. You always say you talk to yourself a lot. I do, and
Yeah.
sometimes I answer.
Yeah.
So, when I had that talk with myself, I had to name the problem, that I had to really think about who am I outside of these titles and really think about my accomplishments.
Right.
It sounds simple, but you know what? Most people never do this. It's so sad. We don't really think about our accomplishment or we're afraid to put a name to it. And I had to think about what it is that I uniquely solve. and some of my biggest accomplishments. And when I thought about it, it's like, you know, you kept people from going to jail. You set up a framework. You did this, and you helped to accomplish 8 of the 10 corporate objectives for a $1 trillion organization. You did that. That was me doing that. And I just had to talk to myself in real girl talk, like, this is yours. They don't own it. And I think we're so conditioned that we identify with them when we let other people tell us who we are. But what I realized, and I'm a big Muhammad Ali fan. I like him because he's very confident. And he said that I'm the greatest. Before I said I was the greatest, before I became the greatest, because I knew if I said it enough, the world would believe it and I would become it. But here's the thing. I was already it, but I wasn't saying it and I wasn't acknowledging it.
That's right.
So I did the reverse of Muhammad Ali and started owning what I had already accomplished. I built those frameworks. I don't give a flip about what other people say. That's me being nice. I'm trying not to curse on this. But I told somebody there, I say, it's okay. Sometimes you got to drop a good F-bomb. I said, I'm in that F season. It's like, I don't give a F about what they say. You know what you did. Your record speaks for itself. Own you. Own your accomplishments. Don't let somebody else tell you that. And I just had a real hard talk with myself. And I'm like, girl, you tripping. You did that thing. Don't let them make you feel small.
That's right.
Because they're trying to keep you in a box, And once I accepted that, I started redoing my strategy. I went out to LinkedIn. I made it my business to be excellent at LinkedIn. And I was doing the post and I'm like, well, what's wrong with it? And I put it in my little source. It's like, there's nothing wrong with your content. It's you. You need to build the framework. That's what I do. I build frameworks for yourself. It's like the light bulb, You need to build the framework for yourself and then teach other people how to do it. I started with myself. The best student is yourself, and to speak from your own experiences. The best coaches have real life experiences that they can share with you, not just what they read or somebody else's experience. On my LinkedIn, once I started building my framework, and I've refined it, but I think I had like 112 impressions, not a whole lot. And I think I might have had one profile view. I mean, within 4 days, I went from 112 impressions to over 2,000, over 500 profile reviews, meeting with leaders and speaking with leaders from Kenya, South Africa, Switzerland, across the world. Not because I sent them anything, but because I stopped being a secret. I built the framework so that I can elevate who I already was. And I learned to put it into my framework. So, can't blame anybody but us. Most of us don't want to do the work though, but that's it is work. But it's empowering to know that you're a secret and you're the reason why nobody knows about you. So all you got to do is pull the trigger and start the building.
Okay, you keep talking about this best kept secret. Mm-hmm. Okay, who is the woman you talking about?
Who am I? I am a leader first and foremost, but this is what I'll tell people. Leadership starts with yourself. So if I can't lead me, then I cannot lead you. I'm a leader of 15, 20, 25 years of deep expertise working in one of the largest organizations in the world. I have delivered results that would make your head spin. I have been in rooms, and that's no lie, that, someone once told me, it's just like, you just walk into the room, it's like, okay, I'm here, now we can get started. Yes, I make it a point that I am the one with the answers. I am the one that can lead us to where we need to go. But, my LinkedIn still read like a job description. And I
Mhm.
realized that it's like I did all of this, but nobody knows who I am. I'm still reading like I'm a has-been from that company, more been in, my profile describe who I work for, not
Right.
what I saw, all of the titles and the acronyms. And to people outside of the financial industry, those titles and acronyms didn't mean squat to them. I was invisible.
Mm.
Me, I'm no longer invisible. Um, I lack credentials. I was saying, no, I don't have this. You don't need it. I got the years and the stripes and the wounds to prove it.
Yeah.
So I stopped being invisible and built the framework that have given me success all of my life. And that's what I teach people to do. Let me turn my phone off. I realized I had my phone on. Sorry. You can ask me your next question. Did I answer your question? I'm just turning my.
Um, you did. You did. Because I have a secret, but we're not here to talk about my secret. We're gonna talk about
Share. What's your secret, girl? What's your secret?
I'm the best kept secret, as you always say. I'm, you know, well, I'm not a best kept secret. I've just grown into who I am because I didn't realize, and after we talked, and I'm not sure if it was 3 or 4 months ago, but we talked about leaning into who you are and focusing. So that's what I decided to do. I decided that I'm going to do what I have to do to be successful. And I used to have this problem like you did all that for the financial institution. I did everything for everybody else. And I forgot about who I was. I forgot about what I need to do for me to be successful because I was so concerned about everybody else. And sometimes we just have to pull away and find ourselves so we can be who we are supposed to be. And I'm just so proud of you because you helped me see who I was.
Yeah. So, do you mind if I let me give you one correction? You're stopping from being the best kept secret because you are evolving and you're elevating yourself. Not enough people know about you, but soon they'll know all about you and your cookie crumble, which I know you're going to drop one today. Um, and about who you are because you are a wealth of information. And I'm so glad to be a frequent host a guest on your podcast and helping you stopping from being a best kept street secret and helping to elevate your business, your podcast
Yeah,
to that next level because you drop gems all the time that we all need to know about
right.
minding our business. And one of the things about minding your business is stop being a secret. You got to come out of the closet.
Oh, I'm coming out. I am definitely coming out. But
I'm coming out.
what what's the cost of staying a secret? And people always say, "Well, I don't want everybody to know. I don't want people all in my business." People are so quick to say that, and it's not about your business. Mama always say, "What is it gonna hurt you to give somebody else some information?" And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to let people know there are people out there that will help you succeed. You just got to know where to tap in. So, what's the cost of staying a secret that you did for 30 plus years?
It cost me a whole lot of money, and I'm just now starting to recoup. And here's the thing: when you're a secret and you choose to stay where you are, and you just want to blame everybody else, you have to take control of your life and your situation.
Yeah,
So I equate it like this. So we all like money. So let's just tie it to money. You hear them talk about interest, and the best interest is interest that compounds because it's that on top of that on top of that. Think
yeah,
about your missed opportunities, the missed dollars. You are being kept a secret because you're not findable. You're not talking about what you have done, either because you don't know how to talk about it without getting yourself into trouble, or you just don't know what you don't know.
Right.
So, and you stay where you are, you never grow. The opportunities, think about it. If you knew how good you were, imagine that $5,000, $10,000 speaking engagement you could have. Imagine, I was just talking to a client today who's going to attend our leadership sprint, and I was telling him they asked him to speak at 2 conferences. He's like, "Oh, I don't know, I don't know," and I can see the look on his face. I'm like, "Are you kidding me? I know you better than you know you." I could think of 5 things that you could talk about right now. That's money. That's exposure. Because at a certain level, like I told him, when you're in this market that we're in, so let's just keep it real. With AI and all of the stuff that's going on, competition is real. If you sit down and not figure out how to elevate yourself, how to showcase with what you have, I'm not telling you to remake yourself. I'm telling you to elevate who you already are. Just like Cookie, you said, just you already had it. It's about elevation and positioning.
Right.
If you sit back and say you're not going to do it, you're going to get what you've always got. Plus, you're going to get more because you're going to be left behind. Less income, less money, less opportunities. You will be even more hidden. And it will be nobody's fault. Nobody's fault. Hear me when I say this. It will be nobody's fault except your own. It's easy for us to blame other people. And I forget how you said it, Cookie, but you said it in the beginning about how we blame other people. We don't do certain things. I can't remember the exact quote that you said, but we have to take accountability for ourselves, for missed opportunity, missed money. And I think that a lot of times we just don't want to put in the work for us. It takes work.
Right. Right. It does. It does. Well, let's break right in here for a sponsor moment. This episode is brought to you by Black Women's AI Network, where technology meets tenacity and anything is possible. What if the most powerful tool in your business isn't hustle, it's intelligence? That's what Black Women's AI Network does for you. It takes you from where you are right now to where you need to be using AI as leverage in your business. So let's go back to Mary. And before we go back, Mary, tell us some things that you're working on right now. So we only have a few more minutes, and I just want you to put it out there and tell them what you're working on so you can get more exposure for I'm just so proud of you. And let me just be quiet because I want you to tell them what you're working on right now.
So what I'm working on right now is the Leadership Authority Sprint, where we give you assets to help you walk into yourself, to help you own who you are so that you are no longer the best kept secret. We have that coming up, and I'll send you the link and you can do that. And we have a free diagnostic. If you want to do an assessment of your positioning of where you are, I'll send that to you also. But we have our Leadership Authority Sprint, where we're helping people own their leader within, own their positioning, own who they are, and helping them, teaching them how to position it and how to package that. So it's a great 2.5-hour workshop. And I hope you can join me, and I will send it to you. Cookie, you can put it in the program information along with a free gift.
I sure will. I most definitely will. So before we, dash out, while we are here, let me just throw in a couple of cookie crumble tips for, let me just tell you, the visible truth is talent without positioning is a secret. And guess what? Secrets don't get paid.
Could you repeat that one? I need to make sure that resonates with me.
The visible truth is talent without positioning is a secret. And secrets don't get paid.
There you go.
There you go.
Talent without positioning is a secret. I love that tip.
Yes, yes. And I have these frequently. on the episode. But today, if there's anything that we said that made you think, made you want to be better, do better, position yourself wherever you need to be, this is the place you need to be to get the truth so we can make you visible. We can help you do what you need to do. Just like, share. I'll put everything about Mary in the description and leave us comments. And by all means, if there's ever anything you need us to talk about, some subject, anything, this is where we bring the truth to you on Gurll Mind Your Business. Mary, I'm going to let you say a few more things and then we're out.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to this series. I just want to leave your audience with this. Positioning does matter, and you need to learn how to do it, and you need to learn how to do it quickly. Our environment is changing. I encourage you to act with a sense of urgency, to utilize and learn how to position yourself. As Cookie said, talent, I don't want to screw it up. Talent without positioning is what?
Talent
A
without
secret.
publicity is a secret. Yes.
Yes, talent with the, and if closed mouths don't get fed. If you're a secret, you're not getting fed. You're not getting paid. You're missing opportunities. It is just compounding, just like interest. So position yourself.
That's right.
Mhm.
And thank you for joining us. Thank you, Mary, as always, for being a part of collaborating with me on several things. I enjoy having you as our guest. You're gonna be our special guest all the time. But we will have others, but of course, I always like the encouragement that you give to the listeners and to your audience as well. Thank y'all for coming out. And that's it. Like,
Thank you.
share, comment.
Yeah, this ain't about gossip. This ain't about noise.